So essentially, there are 4 things that you can do to make sure that you say what you want to say when making your videos. First of all, you of course need to have what you want to say. So you want to prepare a script in your natural language. You want to make sure that it sounds like you speaking and not you reading from a piece of paper. So that's the first thing that's really important. Now to get into how to actually record the video without making any mistakes and ensuring you say what you need to say. The first thing you can do is improve your memory. If you have a great memory, hey, you don't need to do anything else. Write everything out, look at it, memorize it, make your video. Super, super easy, but obviously it's not practical. So these next tips will probably be something a little more useful for you. The second thing is, of course, if you are already an expert in your field, it's pretty easy to just riff and talk about what you want to talk about. For example, making this video, I didn't make any notes whatsoever because I already know exactly what I want to say. The third way is to write out what you want to say, but in bullet point form, and then have it nearby. What you want to do then is you want to start the recording, look down at your notes, memorize what you want to say, maybe just make some mental notes about what the first point is. Then you want to put your notes down, look at the camera, pause for a second, and then do your lines. This might take a little bit of time because it might take you a little while before you remember what you are trying to say, but it will also sound more natural as well. So the bullet point method is really good. However, there is one thing that you need to avoid, which is to tape your notes or your bullet points to somewhere around your camera and think that you can look at them while making the video. As an example, here's me looking just a little bit below the lens. Right now I'm looking directly at the lens, but I'm gonna look just below it slightly where I might have taped something to the lens. Watch this. Now I'm looking just below the lens and you can tell that I'm not making eye contact with you anymore. It's really different. So if you were to tape your notes like this, it's really distracting for the viewer because they can't see your eyes looking at them. This now is eye contact with the lens. So if you need to make notes, don't tape them somewhere around the camera because believe me, I've done that before. It never looks natural. Some people try to tape something behind the camera on the wall. So I'm going to look past the camera at the wall now, and you can see that I'm actually looking at the wall and not looking at you. So go back to what I just said, make notes, have bullet points, look at the bullet points, and read each line as you go through and try to do it that way. It might take a little bit longer because you have to memorize what you're going to say, but if, like I said, if you already know your topic, it's not so hard. The major downside to using bullet points though, is that you'll have to put the video together. You'll have to take that big long file with all the little pauses, cut out all the pauses, stick everything back together, and then use something to hide the transitions, to hide the cuts. You don't have to. Some people like to hide it so it looks a little more professional, but it is acceptable to just have it cut without having anything hiding it. That's okay too. But it does take a little bit longer because you'll have to go through the entire video noting where you made mistakes. But the absolute best way to say what you want to say without making any mistakes and to be super efficient is to get a teleprompter. A teleprompter will save your bacon and save you a lot of time. Of course, you want to make sure that whatever you're going to say is written, like I mentioned earlier, in your natural spoken language so that when it is on the teleprompter, it's easy for you to say the words without sounding like you are reading. But if you're not really sure how to use a teleprompter, check out this video here.